Aggression is predominantly seen as a negative trait. I would like to try to explain that this is not necessarily the case with a daring symbolism. The Japanese director Hayao Miyazaki, the legendary director of the Studio Ghibli films, My Neighbor Totoro, The Walking Castle, Princess Mononoke and many more, painted a beautiful picture of aggression in his second film, Nausicaä and the Valley of the Wind, where he showed that aggression is not negative in its core. The aggressor in his film is nature, which is why the following interpretation may be somewhat daring, but nevertheless does not lose any relevance. The film is inspired by the tragedy in Minamata Bay, where in the 1950s and 60s chemical companies disposed of methylmercury in the said bay. The result was a poisoning of nature and people living there. It even coined the term Minamata disease. The film is based on similar events, except that large parts of the forest have become uninhabitable because of the poison. But nature found a way to adapt, and a lot of aggressive insects have emerged that violently stop any human from attempting to enter or hurt the forest any further. Nature acts as a strong aggressor, namely large snail-like monsters called omus. But what is aggression actually? From a depth psychological point of view, aggression as part of Destrudo is the counterpart to libido. It is a destructive energy that can be attributed to Thanatos, the death drive. In everyday life, libido and aggression are often mixed. Pure aggression really only occurs as a result of a process of disintegration. In Nausicaä and the Valley of the Wind, aggression initially appears to be in its purest form. Nature is seen as a destructive force that destroys indiscriminately what comes close to it. Over the course of the film, however, Nausicaä finds out that the forest, which seems so poisonous, has a second layer below the surface. The trees act as a filter for the poison, and in the lower level, a world of untouched life and natural beauty can be found. The aggression of the omus and other insects results only from the desire to protect this utopian area from the influence of people who want to destroy the poisonous forest and thus would destroy the filter for the underlying nature. This is actually a very positive form of aggression. It's about protecting loved ones. This is possible because aggression at the very beginning is pure energy or activity. It can be used positively if it is tied to libido and serves to protect the self, or as in this case, to protect an object relationship. Over the course of the film, several tribes of humans join forces and decide to destroy the forest, resulting in a warlike confrontation between humans and omus as the defenders of nature. On the human side, the negative counterpart can be observed in the successful attempt to revive an old giant, a blind, destructive force that destroys uncontrollably and undifferentiated. The wish to revive this catastrophic force stems from the narcissistic anger of the people. This monster has only one purpose: to destroy nature. The obstacle, in this case the omus, shall be removed. It can be seen as a manifestation of narcissistic hatred. Narcissistic hatred is aimed at destruction and obliteration, while narcissistic anger initially only wants to cause harm. It is about the satisfaction of destructive lust and cruelty. Libido and aggression are fused in a very unfavorable way in this case. Let's get back to the film. After realizing that the omus are only defending their utopia and that man clearly is in the wrong here, Nausicaä commits betrayal of her human ally. She leads the people of her own valley into safety, away from this decisive battle. In the course of this, she learns that humans held an omu baby captive and tortured it as a provocation of the enemies. Since she knows about the good-hearted nature of these animals, she burns into anger. She kills the torturers and saves the animal. Fatally injured herself, she lies with a boy in the middle of the battlefield, just before the troops of the humans and Omus meet. In a touching scene, it becomes clear how much she feels for the baby Omu. She calls it a good child in the Japanese original. This unfortunately gets translated into good boy in the subtitles, which transforms the meaning of the relationship from a very intimate mother-daughter feeling into a pet-owner feeling. Miyazaki's original intention was clearly to emphasize the intimacy of the relationship between Nausicaä and the Omu. When Nausicaä finally dies and the horde of Omus runs all around her, the connection between aggression and libido becomes clear once again. The mother of the rescued baby, and with her many others, connect with Nausicaä with a kind of tentacle, and in a very bright, clear light, Nausicaä is awakened again. The pure life energy, the power of creation that is in nature, comes to the fore very clearly. After the destruction of the giant and the human armies, the Omus return to the forest, and the people from Nausicaä's valley return to a peaceful coexistence with nature. By the way, Nausicaä is inspired by the character of Nausicaa in the Odyssey, a similarly curious woman who welcomes the stranded Odysseus without fear and brings him to the court of her father, the king of the Phaiax. I really hope that my somewhat chaotic summary of the events has not taken away your desire to watch the film. All the works of Studio Ghibli, and especially those of Miyazaki, are bursting with symbolic power that is often sorely missed in Western films. He prefers to address topics such as man's invasion of nature, which he himself witnessed. The films are those also true masterpieces in terms of craftsmanship. They are hand animated, and the colors and music chosen with the utmost care. Each one of them has moved me personally to tears and made me laugh with joy. They convey more feeling than I know it from any other films, and each one of them is a real pleasure to watch. However, I recommend to watch them in the original language, in Japanese with English subtitles, to keep them closest to the original. So today's video had a somewhat different format than the rest of my channel. I took an essay I created for my university classes and transformed it into a video essay, because I really enjoyed writing the essay in the first place, so I really wanted to share it. Now, Ghibli fans might have noticed that the giant I drew behind Nausicaä and the Omu is actually not from the film Nausicaä and the Valley of the Wind, but from Castle in the Sky, which is another Ghibli movie. This was a mistake of mine at first, but I decided to leave it because I really liked the composition of the whole picture. Anyways, let me know down in the comments whether you liked the essay-like format of this video. I just wanted to mix it up a bit. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next video. Peace out.